Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you are all doing good. So the topic for today's talk is we should not be losing the hope. So in the process of not losing the hope, we earlier discussed our first act of worship, and that is prayers. Through the nawafil, one is the compulsory prayer, and then the other thing, there is the other part, and that is known as nawafil. So the best nawafil in the month of Ramadan is Tarawih. Though it is not compulsory, but still the number, there is a long discussion on how much number is compulsory, but there is no number specified. So as per your own capacity, you can either perform 2, 4, 6, 8 or 12, whatever the even number you are comfortable with, and the total number is 20. So actually, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to make this namaz of Tarawih, but he discontinued on the third day, as you all know the story. So as the Ummah doesn't think it has to be a compulsory part in their lives. So in the time of Hazrat Umar bin Khattab, he started it for the ease of all the Muslim Ummah. So it is a normal practice to have these 20 rakats of nawafil, which we call as Tarawih, and in that we complete the whole Quran in one go. So the second act which we are going to discuss today is through the cash, and that is charity. So in Arabic language, with the act of worship in reference to money, there is two, just like the nawafil. First and the nawafil in terms of the worship, in terms of the prayer, in terms of the cash, there are two. And the first is zakat, which is 2.5% of the wealth. If you are fulfilling that standards, the conditions which are the prerequisite for zakat. So other than that, what is charity? Charity is nafal ibadat in terms of the cash. So let me just summarize it to you, that how you do it. So this is something which you pay in terms to get the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is one is the first thing which we have to do, which we have to perform if we fulfill those conditions of, if we have that much of asset, and if we have that much of asset, and even if we don't have that much of asset, and the zakat is not farz on us, we can still do the charity. So one charity, the most common form of the charity is through the cash. So as much as we pay it, we get it back. How do we get it back? Just like the business or an investment, when we put some money, we get a growth, a profit. So some part of that profit goes back into the investment, and then that is how the business, it progresses and it grows more. So same is the thing with the cash in terms of paying it in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Until we don't plant it, we don't achieve anything. If we don't pay that charity, if we don't pay something in the path of Allah, then we don't get anything back. So how do we spend it? We send it on our family, on ourselves, on our relatives, on the needy and on the poor, and etc. This list goes on all. So in order to do that charity, first and the foremost thing, we need to be conscious of some things. We need to be generous. We need to be generous. And secondly, we need to be humble. What do I mean by being generous? You spend it and then you don't expect anything in return from the other person. So as you give out your charity, you need to be very humble. By being humble is that your attitude should be that it is not me getting the, oh my God, I'm so wealthier and that I can give the charity. No, you have to be humble. You have to think, and you have to have this attitude in your behavior to the others, to the ones to whom you are giving this charity, that it is not me giving you the charity. It is actually that I am just a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I am giving this to you. So you have to be humble in this. So as we have seen, many of us that they are very wealthier in terms of the cash, in terms of the wealth of the world, as far as that is concerned, but they are not wealthier in the hereafter. So how do we be wealthier in the hereafter? We have to be generous. So generosity is the first and the foremost thing required. And secondly, prerequisite after that, postrequisite to that thing is to be humble. So what is the purpose of giving out the charity? That might be the question of many of you. So charity in terms of a thing is that dua. It is one thing. The first thing is dua. And the second thing which can change your predestined, that what's decided for your life afterwards can be changed by two things in Islam. So that is, first is dua, and the second thing is charity. So many of you might be thinking that we don't have that much of wealth where we can give it out in terms of money each day. But what can you do? You can just do the charity even without the money, by your behavior, by just putting out a smile on your face, by being welcoming to the other person. You don't make such a face when you enter your home, or when you enter a hall full of people, or when you talk to the other person, that your face, by looking at your face, the other person gets that message that, oh my God, he is not at all happy by seeing us. So you don't have to make a joke, or you have to laugh out loud, but put a smile, put a behavior, such a face in front of them that they feel welcome, they feel good by being there in your company. So you can still give out charity even if you don't have that much of the resources in terms of the cash, but you can do it by your good behavior, by even your talk, by your generosity in terms of whatever resource you have available. So may Allah bless you to do charity to the extent with all the humans, with the whole ummah, with your family, with your own self, and with your relatives. May Allah bless you all. Jazakallah. Since with the night of decree that can be any time, you can think of this charity as an investment, not a simple investment, but an investment in this month of Ramzan as the one which will be multiplied by 1,000 years. And that is better than 1,000 years, 1,000 nights. We talked about this multiplication earlier in this mathematics, that is equivalent to 83.3 years. So as if you just give out 1 rupee, that is multiplied by 83.33 years of you giving out that charity. So you be generous in doing the charity in terms of your cash, in terms of other resources, in terms of your behavior, and in terms of whatever resources you have available at hand. So may Allah bless you all.